Okay. So here we have Evie, who's a Keeshond, and she's actually a sister, like a direct litter mate of Stella, who I posted a video about last week. And I think it was last week. Don't quote me on that. Sometime recently. Evie is definitely... Come here, kiddo. Come on, love. Good girly. It's definitely the more anxious of the two. And we just got to this park. This is my first time taking her by just her and I off property, like away from home. And she's not taking treats right now. She's not interested in food. She's not interested in playing with toys. She's kind of interested in attention from me, but like, nah, not a lot. What she's very interested in doing is sniffing and exploring, because that is how dogs learn about stuff, mostly is through their nose. So she's feeling a little anxious about, who knows specifically, but she's feeling a little anxious by the fact that she's not taking food. She's not like the foodiest dog ever, but normally she'll take treats, and not interested in toys or play. And you can even see her body language. It's hard to tell because she's so floofy, but her tail is actually not up all the way. They have curly tails. Come on, kid. We're not allowed on the soccer or the baseball fields. Good job. Over here. Keeshonds have curly tails that rest up on their backs. And her tail, well, now it's up, kind of. But I know this dog very well, and I know that her tail has been kind of, not down, but definitely not up all the way. Which, you know, the tail between the legs is usually a sign of fear. For her, because their tails naturally rest on top of their back, her tail just not being vertical is still a subtle sign that she's feeling some type of way. So we're not taking food, so I can't really use that as reinforcement where you're not interested in toys. We're not even really interested in attention from me, but we are. Hi, love. Yeah. Oh, now we're kind of interested. Hi. Good girl. Yeah. So good. Oh, good shake. Go sniff. What we are interested in doing is sniffing and exploring. Because sniffing is going to help her learn about her environment. And so that could help relieve her anxiety. Sniffing is also just stress relieving for dogs to do anyway. So what I'm doing with her is just letting her do that. I have her on a 30-foot line. As you can see, we have a lot of space with like not much going on. There is a playground over behind the cars there, and there's a lot of kids and stuff happening over there. So we're staying over here, far away from, there's the hubbub, far away from the hubbub. And I'm just kind of doing a little advance and retreat. So we're getting a little bit closer, good girly, to this stuff, and then going a little farther away. And I'm specifically staying on this side of the vehicles because that way they give me a little bit of cover. Good girl. Wow. Let's go. So movement can also be reinforcing. If a dog is a little worried about something, like Evie was a little worried about the big loud landscaping truck that just went by. So encouraging her to move away from it is reinforcing. She didn't like it. She said that was a little scary. So by letting her notice it, and then encouraging her, you have to stay on the same side of stuff as me, my love. Come on, girlfriend. Good job. By letting her notice it and then encouraging her to move away from it, that's still acting as reinforcement for noticing something scary and not yelling at it. So, yeah, there's all this stuff over there. So what we're gonna do is spend the next like 10-15 minutes just continuing to do what we're doing. I'm like very unceremoniously just kind of wandering a little bit closer to all of the action, and then walking away, moving away from it. So that way she can like slowly acclimate to everything, and we can use the moving away from all this stuff going on as reinforcement for acknowledging that there is stuff and not yelling at it. You're being very good. You're being a very good girl. Oh, we're very worried about this trash can. It's a recycling bin, hon. Let's go. Good job. So same thing there. And this is not about avoidance, by the way. I am not recommending to like avoid, because we're not going to end on her just like walking away from the recycling bin that she thought was very scary. We're going to give her a break, move her away from it, and then we're going to like circle back to it. Maybe I'll try to approach it from a different angle. So yeah, moving your dog away from something that they find a little concerning, or even something they're overly interested in, it's not the same as saying just like avoid, right? Because I'm very clearly not avoiding. Come on, you. I'm encouraging her to notice stuff. That's the opposite of avoidance. But a dog does not need to like directly interact with stuff to have that count as an interaction. Like or to have that count as like, what am I trying to say? A dog doesn't have to directly engage with something for it to count as interacting with the object. Like just perceiving it is still interacting. Good job. Yeah, good for you. There's the scary recycling bin again. Let's see if we feel different about it this time. Oh, we're still, to see that flinch? You're on high alert. Wow, for you. See? I'm not lying. Good girly. Nice. Super girl. So you see what I mean about the tail? Now you can really see the tail's decidedly not up. That is, a subtle sign that we're stressy. We have lots of subtle signs that we're being stressed, which is why I'm not asking her to do much right now. Not asking her for anything. Like even the times where I'm encouraging her to like come towards me or move on, I'm not even using her recall signal. Oh, sorry, my love. Wow, that was scary. Dragged a long line on the ground behind her, and that was scary. So I'm gonna keep the slack gathered. Usually I let my 30-foot lines just drag behind me. I don't hold the slack in my hands, especially when there's like not a lot of foot traffic around. I'm not worried about tripping anybody. But for her, I'm gonna not do that. It's easier to let it drag while I'm also trying to hold my phone and record, but we'll do what we have to do for little Miss Evie to feel a little bit more relaxed and confident in this environment. But it is exactly her lack of confidence and her stress level that's why I'm not asking for specific behavior. So I'm not using her recall signal. I am not using, come on love, we're going this way, babes. Good girl. I'm not using her recall signal. I'm not asking for anything. Like I'm trying to not even call her name, because I'm not 100% sure she's going to be able to respond to those signals. So rather than like see if I'm correct, I'm just going to do something else that I think is likely to elicit the behavioral response I'm looking for. So like rather than calling her name, I'm just like making a kissy noise or something. Yeah, there's some kids. Good job. Let's go. There's some kids on bikes that just went through the parking lot over there. And she was like, whoa, good girl. Let's go. So again, because we noticed the kids on the bikes, so we're not avoiding them. We noticed them, but we didn't yell at them. So I'm going to tell her, good for you. You do not have to look at that scary thing anymore. So there's the tail. That's what the tail should look like. Tail right up straight on the top of her back. And if you notice, like we're getting a little bit more like kind of happy looking body language from her. So yeah, this looks like I'm doing absolutely nothing. Looks like I'm sure the people over in the playground with their kids are watching me like yap into my phone and follow this dog around on a long line with my van that says I'm a dog trainer, and they're like, what the hell kind of training is that? The good kind. We're going slow. We're not pushing her. She's very unlikely to retain a lot of useful information from something if she's very stressed by it. Good girl. Good choices, honey. So I'm not going to bother trying to train her or ask. She can barely handle being in the environment. So, like, why would I ask for something harder than that when she's showing me that the environment itself is a challenge? We're going to just, again, this is my first field trip with her. We have a lot more to do. So I'm going to just, good choices, babes. Wow. Wow. Oh, sorry. Do you want a pet? Yeah. So you can see I reached for her head and she was like, wow. She kind of like shied her head away. But when I flipped my hand over and gave her the space to come to me, she actually came closer. So she was like, that's a little bit, don't get in my face like that, lady. Good girl. And good job. So here's a good example of like, you can let a dog have the freedom of movement and freedom to explore without letting them like run roughshod all over you. So for me, I want my dogs to learn to stay on the same side of an object as I am so that they don't get themselves tangled, especially because I walk my dogs on a line. Good girl. A lot of the time. So every time she looks like she's going to go under the fence or on the other side of a tree, I just move and encourage her to move towards me and make like a kissy noise or something to encourage her to stay on the same side of the fence or the tree or whatever as I am. So we're still, and I'm not like, if you notice there are a couple times where she wants to just like bulldoze straight towards all this stuff happening over there, but she's gonna get herself into trouble if she does that. Come on, Evie. Good girl. Nice job. We have a lot of feelings about big trucks. There was like a big pickup truck coming in the parking lot that was gonna go good girly right past us. So again, gave her a second to acknowledge the big scary truck and then encourage her to move on away from it. So not avoidance, I'm encouraging her to notice it, but it is using the reinforcement she actually wants, which is to move around and sniff, and showing her that if you notice a scary thing, you can choose to disengage from it and like move away from it rather than getting defensive and barking or lunging or growling to communicate your feelings. You can communicate your feelings by going, oh, I'm not sure about that thing. I'm gonna go sniff over here. So it's not avoidance. I'm letting her notice stuff. I'm just not letting her fixate, and I'm encouraging her to make a good choice by encouraging her to move on and move away from it. So like that again, big scary loud truck that went by. And we're watching it with a lot of interest. Too much interest. Let's go. So before she makes a bad choice, if you saw those eyes darting around and like her panting started to get a little bit more rapid, those are signs that we might be thinking about barking. So I want to intervene and encourage her to make a better choice before she starts barking. And again, you could do this with food by like calling the dog and throwing a cookie in the grass to encourage them to disengage and sniff, or, you know, pulling out a tuggy toy when they notice something scary and playing tug with them, or even just bringing them to an environment like this that's new and playing with a toy, or just sitting and petting them and hanging out if that's something they value. But right now, Evie doesn't really value any of those things. The thing she's showing me she wants to do is like sniff and explore. So, okay, yeah, cool, we'll use that. Sure. Abso-tibly. But if you notice, I'm not letting her pull. If she hits the end of her line, I am not letting her continue to move in that direction. So we're still encouraging some nice loose leash walking. It's just that the leash happens to be 30 feet long. And I'm not letting her, I'm letting her dictate where we go to an extent, but but I'm not going to let her put herself in a position where she's probably going to get herself into trouble and make a bad choice. I'm not letting her go on the other side of the fence. Good job. And on the other side of the trees and get herself tangled up. So go where you loves. So there's still boundaries, there's still rules. I'm not letting her stare at stuff to a point that I think she might start yelling at it. I'm not going to let her get close enough to another person or kid or dog such that she might lunge and bark. There's still rules and boundaries. We're just finding a nice compromise. I will let you have some freedom to show me where you want to go. I will let you just check your environment out and sniff and explore, but there are still rules. Huh, Eves? Huh? Hi, kiddo. Yeah. You go, girlie. You want some pets? You want some pets? Hi. Oh, kisses and pets. Oh, thank you. It's so nice. Yeah. Good girlie. So, good shake. Here's a good test of if the dog actually finds value in the reinforcement you're giving them. If you stop the reinforcement, do they try to make it happen again? So, very clear, like, she doesn't mind if I pet her, but she clearly, oh yeah, a little stress you on, clearly doesn't love it. Come on, go sit. And I can tell that by the fact that when I do pet her and I stop, she does not try to get me to keep petting her. She just kind of stands there, or she buggers off and does her own thing somewhere else. So that is how I know that she does not find attention from me to be particularly reinforcing, because she's not putting in any effort to attain attention or gain attention from me. She is putting in a lot of effort to sniff and explore and check stuff out. And that's kind of it. I offered her a bunch of different types of food. She does have food allergies, so I can't only offer her certain things, but I have like freeze-dried chicken liver and these chicken jerky treats that her mom gave me that her and her sister both love. Good girlie. Come on. You have to stay on this side of the thing, hon. Good girl. I offered her some actual just chicken breast, some like boiled chicken breast. Zero interest. Weirdly enough, a lot of dogs are allergic to chicken, but these dogs are allergic to beef and lamb, and they have very sensitive stomachs, so we're kind of limited on what we can use as treats. They also can't have dairy, because dairy gives them the runs like pretty much immediately. So limited on what we can use as food rewards. And we don't want any of the food rewards that you can have, that I have on me. And we don't want toys of any kind, and we don't really care about attention right now. So this is how you can get a dog accustomed to being in an environment when they don't want any other reinforcers besides movement and sniffing. Still encourage nice behaviors. Good girlie. And work on reactivity, because believe it or not, even though the only thing she really reacted to was the scary recycling bin that was over there, that we don't really find that scary anymore, her and her sister can be reactive to all sorts of things. But this is what a reactive dog training session should look like. As few reactions as possible. Right? And it's been about 20 minutes, so we're going to call it a day on that.